Mass casualty training happening everywhere before the Super Bowl. Why is this? If I told you something wasn't being covered on the news, like mass casualty training all over the place just before the Super Bowl. And when I say everywhere, I mean military EMS, law enforcement, and other groups training on dealing with mass amounts of death in a highly traumatic event. And there are a couple small news companies out there that are saying that this is all coincidental pre-Super Bowl. So is this just standard emergency protocol, or has there been a threat, or what's going on here? A question many people are asking, are they expecting something? And they're asking, why is the US warning all of the emergency services, and yet we don't see anything on big media or big news? So is this a huge red alert? Has there been a threat? Is something coming? New news and information you guys should know coming right up. If you guys are brand new here, welcome to our awesome community where we do prepping tips, emergency preparedness, how-tos, and news like this that could possibly affect you. If you find value in that, please hit the notification bell so you guys can stay up to date. Let's jump into this one.
Trifecta of major events in the Valley. Whole lot of preparation goes into planning for this, and that includes being prepared in case of emergencies. ABC 15's Cameron Pullum showing us what it takes to be ready.
Inside Scottsdale Stadium Tuesday,
468
first responders from across the valley and medical staff from Honor Health are preparing for disaster.
seconds count, and so that golden hour is critical and essential for the success and patient outcomes.
In light of major events like the Super Bowl and Phoenix Open attracting hundreds of thousands of visitors from across the nation, it's mass casualty drills like these that save lives.
So that happened just a few days ago down in Scottsdale for the potential of something happening. Now, I've worked part of the EMS and I know that these drills are super important, but when you see them popping up everywhere, not just for this one event, at the same time, it makes you wonder if there's something bigger going on. And then on top of that, we've got the 26th MEU Marines conducting mass casualty training. These guys are warriors training to deal with like a massive situation. We're talking about a massive situation. And I've also got reports of the Japanese training, Japanese service members conducting CBRN training. Now, this may be something and it may not be something, but we've got community members reporting that law enforcement, hospitals and healthcare facilities, crematory businesses and military are training for something big. So now with this happening all across the United States, could something be brewing within the United States, or could it be something bigger? All at the same time as more electrical substations continually get damaged. And we've been warned about this and ongoing attacks from Homeland Security and the FBI. And have you guys heard about the train railway attacks? It's getting big, all kinds of stuff. All kinds of pipelines getting shut down. How long is it going to take for this type of stuff to escalate, for it to turn into a much bigger problem? Why is the crematory business taking an uptick? And just recently, China as well has bought more crematory machines, which are crazy expensive. So the big question is why are all these health facilities and groups getting ready for a high mass casualty event? Well, I would recommend not being in a high, dense, populated area with mass people anytime soon, because if there was to be some sort of attack, that's probably what they're going to go for, is a high, densely populated area or event. I don't know the scale of the possible threat, but what if it's bigger? I mean, this is all at the same time as Russia putting air defense on top of their buildings now. If you haven't seen that, that's been on quite a bit of news lately as well. So why are they all of a sudden equipping their buildings with air defense? It just seems a little fishy, like something is brewing. So this is why we tell you guys to be prepared. You don't have to label yourself as a prepper if you don't like that word, but emergency preparedness is the name of the game. Because a lot of us believe it's not a matter of if, but when something's going to go down. And what if something big does happen? You guys need to think about what you're going to do. Maybe you're going to have little Susie and little Billy in school. You need to get them out of school as fast as possible. You need to think about routes. What routes you're going to be thinking about, because in panic mode, people are going to be acting erratic. They aren't going to know which way to go, but somebody with a plan and a route and having thought through an emergency situation is going to be better off. Oh, and you don't know when something's going to pop off. You don't know if it's going to be in the middle of a workday. You don't know if it's going to be in the middle of the night. The thing to do is to think through these scenarios, no matter what the threat, no matter what the emergency, and have a plan of attack. And then have a group meeting so that everybody knows the plan. And if you're anything like me, you don't like to think about it. It's not an easy thing to think about. Thinking about mass destruction or a big, huge emergency event is not a fun thing to think about. But you need to remember, if something happens, your kid's school gets locked down, how are you going to get them out? You have to have a plan. How are highways and freeways going to look in a huge emergency? You got to know all the back roads. You got to have multiple routes in the back roads to get anywhere. You're in some type of city or something. If you're in some type of city or something, in my case, I'm in the mountains. If I had to evacuate this area, I happen to know mountain routes to get around certain points. I already know all the back roads to get from point A to point B to stay away from the highway or the freeway. Because intersections alone are going to be a mess. I don't like coming across as someone that's worrying about what might happen, but somebody that's training people on what to do in an emergency situation. More so being prepared for any type of event. And for God's sakes, hoping that it never happens. But there's one thing that we can all agree on, and that is that things are getting worse by the day. The economy's going downhill. The banking system is on the edge of ruin. Our country is spending every dime they don't even have. The possibilities of getting us into a world war is growing every day. You might not think that our country would make a big move like that, but you got to remember, there's a lot of other crazy countries out there that would. All it takes is one crazy leader to push a button and our lives change. So I don't mean to alarm you, but just push you in the direction of having more emergency preparedness. For if we do have an SHTF 2023, how prepared are you? Do you have water, food, supplies for a small emergency, a medium emergency, or a major emergency? Thinking about being prepared, making plans is going to give you a better sense of security over any type of emergency preparedness event. On our channel, we give you news that affects you, but we also give you other videos to help you with your emergency preparedness, whether it's emergency heat, water filtration, and so many other prepping tips. So as they say, keep your head on a swivel, both eyes wide open, and keep prepping, keep learning, keep doing, guys. We'll see you on the next one.